good high school football game. Really now we're at that, we're past that third of the way into the season. This is the kind of game you want when you're starting conference play. So I couldn't be more excited for this one.
Well, this is really the part of the season when you really start to figure out who's contenders and who's a pretender. And these two teams, I think, are certainly contenders. You mentioned Euclid. Jeff Rotsky has really built this into one of Cuyahoga County's best programs in the last 5 years or so, where they can compete with the Menners and the other big schools in that conference. And really, if you win the GCC, you are among that state championship conversation.
If you come out with all, because basically, the GCC is basically it's all the biggest Division I schools in Greater Cleveland.
Yes.
I mean, essentially. You're talking Strongsville, you're talking Euclid and Medina and Solon and Mentor and Shaker Heights. If you come out of that with your Brunswick, and you come out of that with your head above water, and you're the team that's the kind of the sole survivor out of that, I mean, you're ready for the playoffs. I mean, you're a team that deserves to be a champion, and I just think that. To your point with Euclid, I think anytime you can make that long trip down to Canton and play McKinley, and we talked about this last week.
What a game that was last weekend.
I think anytime you go down there and you find a way to win that kind of a game on the road, that tells me there's something inside you as a team that's pretty special.
When Euclid has kind of had to this year, they've beaten some good opponents, but they've kind of done it where, okay, we get out to a big lead, and then they kind of have to hang on at the end. Same thing with this game against the Bulldogs.
This is going to be tough. This will be. I don't know if they can do that this week.
Yeah.
Because Medina. The years I've known Larry Laird, going all the way back to when he was an assistant coach at Avon Lake, and then of course he became a head coach at Medina for 1 year. Went back to Avon Lake. Went to Strongsville. Went to Avon Lake. Went to Medina now. He's a brilliant offensive mind, and I think now that he's been able to kind of craft the program the way he wants it to be. Now all of a sudden, this is a team that can put some points on the board with that offense. So that's kind of where I was going. It's like, Euclid can't, if they get up early on Medina, they can't take the foot off the gas because there's too much firepower coming on the other side.
Well, and this is a chance really for Medina to make a statement. I mean, they kind of did last week, snapping Wadsworth's 23-game regular season winning streak. Luke Hensley had 2 long touchdowns in that win. But to beat a team, a conference rival like Euclid, who's kind of had, again, been up with Mentor at the top of that conference for the last few years, if they can win this game, then they really are saying, we've arrived, we're a contender in this region.
And it's a home game for them, too.
Yes.
I think that'll have a lot to do with it. But back to the Wadsworth game, I mean, last year when I saw Wadsworth and Medina play, you could just tell Wadsworth was a step ahead. And the way that the Grizzlies started the year, and they took apart Highland, and the way they took apart Highland, you sat there and you said, well, Wadsworth is still the cream of the crop in that Medina County, Summit County area. They're right on the border of Medina County. But, boy, I got to tell you, that's a statement win by Larry Laird and the Bees to knock out the Wadsworth and knock off that winning streak. So there's a lot going to be going into this game. But I just think, if you're able to start the conference play 1-0 in this game, I think you really set your sights up for a good run into the month of October.
You need that momentum because we mentioned all of the powerhouse programs in this conference with obviously Mentor, but then you got Strongsville made the playoffs last year.
And they're off to a great start.
Brunswick looks improved.
They're off to a great start.
And we know not everybody in this conference is going to make the playoffs or go 7-3 or 8-2. In the end, it's going to, as the term goes, kind of cannibalize itself. But again, a win like this early on can maybe be that spark plug that you need where maybe you could go on that run, win the conference, and get a good position in the playoffs.
Yeah, Tim says go Bees. Sue says Benedictine. Sue, I got to tell you, at some point, Benedictine will be one of our nominees. They're having the Bengals.
We've been keeping an eye on them.
We've been keeping an eye on them. That's a good call, and we'll keep an eye on them, and we'll get them as a nominee, I would imagine, here at some point. Sometimes with Benny, they play some of their games on Saturday, which makes it a little tough for us. But I'm excited. I think this is the type of game that whoever comes out of it may be able to get into our top 5 poll. I don't know. I didn't see it. This is the first time I've seen
our
poll.
Is.
I don't know. Did Euclid get in?
Euclid did not.
Euclid did not
spoiler.
Get in.
Now,
yes.
let's just start at the top.
Okay.
This time. Mentor is your new number one. They only played one half this past week. We had a lot of storms over the past weekend that either delayed or canceled or postponed some games. Our game of the week, Wycliffe Orange, which was really a competitive game.
That was a great game. I enjoyed that game. It went down to, we got all the way till 5:15 left to go in the fourth quarter before finally the skies opened up and we were literally in darkness in the stadium because the press box had no power. But it didn't matter. Really, if you were on the east side of the city, or I guess Lorain County got hit pretty good as well, but those Cuyahoga County east side suburbs really took a pounding, and Orange was one of them.
But Mentor, they only played the one half against Clarkson Football North from Canada. They were up 21-15. They decided because of the logistics of the travel, okay, we're just going to have to call it here. Nonetheless, they still had a very good game. Ian Kipp, 3 total touchdowns. They're at Elyria next weekend. Some notes on Mentor. With them being number one, obviously they have the 2 big wins over St. Edward and St. Ignatius.
Which is why I still voted them in.
Yes.
And I know who number 2 is. And actually, I've got a question that leads into number 2.
Yeah.
They did nothing to merit being knocked out, despite the fact that there was an impressive victory involving a couple of top 5 teams below them. They did nothing to get themselves knocked out.
A couple of notes on Mentor before we get to the rest of the poll. There are 5 national polls that are considered the cream of the crop for deciding a national champion. Max Preps has 2 of them. In the Freeman computer rankings, I believe it is for Max Preps,
Freeman.
Mentor is ranked number 10 in the country. So you're getting to the point where you could just maybe start talking about a national championship. And how great would that be for Steve Trevisano?
You talk about a great way to end the year. And we said, now, Elyria is a team I would think that they shouldn't have too much problem with this week. But as we get into the teeth of that conference schedule, it's not going to be easy for them to make it through unscathed. Now, Ray Schaefer wants to know here, TC, and this is a great question, leads into number 2. How far can St. Ignatius go this year? Well, if they play like they did Friday in the second half, methinks they can go all the way, and we can see them in Canton in late November, early December.
Absolutely, and they are number 2 in our poll, and they are also ranked in some of those national top 25s, not as high as Mentor, and it's going to be harder for them to win a national title with that 1 loss already. Not impossible, but it's going to be harder. We talk about game of the week. That might have been a game of the year.
Yeah,
Ignatius beating Hoban.
And we knew, and even when the score was I think at one point you reported to us that it was 31-17 Hoban.
35-10 it was
35
actually
to 10 at one point. And I'm sitting there going, why do I still think, though, if there's still time, Ignatius can make a run at this. And sure enough, Chuck Kyle, got them refocused, and that's the thing with Hoban. And we've seen it. We saw it against Massillon last year in the state championship game. Sometimes they're kids. You take your foot off the proverbial gas pedal. Sometimes you can get away with it. Against Massillon, they got away with it. They couldn't get away with it against St. Ignatius.
You wouldn't get away with it against a team like a Chuck Kyle coach team. And in this game, Griffin Hanna was the hero. 4 touchdown passes, including the eventual game winner to Connor Camille. They had 32 unanswered points until here's how this game ended. An unbelievable ending in the way that Hoban's, here it is, Jay-Sean Cogburn, down 42-35, takes a kickoff back 95 yards for a touchdown. They go for 2 to try to win it. A lot of coaches decide to do that now, especially in high school. They don't get it. Iggy holds on for the win, and really just an incredible effort.
And the weather was better down in Summit County than certainly it was where I was.
They were not affected by the rain.
They weren't affected by the rain, but I wonder. Tim Terrell he's a gambler, man. He wants to win. He wanted to win that game. I don't blame him. I'm sure his kids don't blame him. My first thought was, God, when I've heard about that, I was like, I wonder if he was thinking, man, let's get the 2-point conversion and get out of here and not even worry about having any kind of a storm delay or a rain delay. But like you said, weather really wasn't a factor. So
no, it wasn't, and it didn't surprise me. A team like Hoban, a coach like Tim Terrell, they want to win this game.
They want to get out of there with the win. Thomas Lawrence says undefeated Mentor. When you're undefeated, Thomas, and you knock off St. Edward and St. Ignatius, you stay number 1 in the poll. That's just the way that goes.
Absolutely. Now, number 3, you mentioned them earlier, Massillon. Ho-Hum, they were down 7-0 early in their game against Warren G. Harding. They went on to score the last 49 points. Aiden Longwell and Jaden Ballard hooked up at least once. They both had good games. Their next game against Trafford out of Pennsylvania, 4-0 Trafford, one of the best teams in that area. So this is going to be a test for them.
Interesting. I like it. Sometimes when you have a limited number of conference games, or in Massillon's case, I think they're still non-conference.
Yeah, and Massillon and Ignatius both independent. That's why.
You got to go. You have to go sometimes out of state, out of country to find
because
opponents.
A lot of these other in-state teams are playing conference games, and they have to find these opponents. And Ignatius actually will be playing DeMartha Catholic in Maryland, one of the top teams in Maryland next week.
That's a traditional. I know they're really strong. DeMatha is a strong basketball power, but I mean, they're football. Yeah. They're a strong football school too.
Yeah, that'll be a big game. Big games for both teams next week out of state. St. Edward is number 4. They beat Cathedral Prep, one of the top out of
Erie,
Pennsylvania.
Out of Erie,
yep. Yeah. Jeff Pietrowski, MSU, Michigan State commit, the game-winning sack, game-ending sack in that game. And St. Edward now, after that heartbreaking loss to Mentor, starting to go on that run, and I think a lot of us expected that.
Yeah, starting to figure things out, and that's kind of what they did last year too. So I'm not surprised.
As long as they get in, they're going to have a chance. Yep. And then number 5 is Archbishop Hoban. Actually, Hoban is number 4. I got this mixed up. Hoban's number 4. St. Edward is 5. So I apologize. Hoban number 4. After that loss to St. Ignatius this past week, they've lost only 4 games in the last 5 years of this state championship run.
And 2 of them are to Ignatius.
2 of them are to Ignatius. One of them was against Benedictine, and I believe one of them was also against St. Edward.
Yes.
So
Madeline will be happy that we gave Benny some love there.
Yes.
Listen, I said the first thing, I was talking to some of the Wycliffe coaches. We were waiting for the rain to kind of let up so we could get out of the press box. I said, I don't know who's Hoban's playing next week. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I said, I can tell you this. I kind of feel sorry for them because I said they are going to be out for blood.
Absolutely. I think it is an out-of-state opponent. I don't have it with me, but it is an out-of-state opponent. It's at home. Yeah, I feel bad for whoever they are because that's going to be a fun one. So, there's your top 5.
There's your top 5. So, again,
yes.
Mentor 1,
Ignatius
2, Massillon 3, Hoban, St. Edward.
And
good top 5.
A couple of teams that did not quite make the top 5. Euclid's right there. I thought about putting them in, but they just off the edge.
I had a hard time keeping I had a hard time keeping Euclid off. I had a hard time keeping Stowe off.
Stowe beating Solon.
I kept Avon in because I had no reason to take them off. I mean, they went out and did what they needed to do against Lakewood, so I had no reason to take them off.
Stowe beating Solon 50-19.
That was an impressive. That's another Stowe. This year, we may look back at this year, TC, as the year where a lot of traditional powers that had been kind of knocked down for a couple of years have had rebirths this year. Talking about Stowe, talking about Brunswick.
Yes.
Those types of programs. And it's always better. I mean, I feel like Aurora is better this year. They missed the playoffs. They never missed the playoffs. Aurora is better this year. Starting to kind of feel like, in some ways, we're back to normal. In that we'll see.
Well, I'm sure certain schools were happier that those traditional powers were struggling a little bit.
Yeah, it was, but I mean, that was the first thing I took from it because that was the game when we almost ended up at that.
That narrowly lost our vote, and I will say, great win for Stowe. Owen Bainbridge had 2 total touchdowns in that game. They had 352 passing yards in that game. And I got to say, the pressure's on Solon right now.
Yeah.
Because this is another year where the expectations are high, and then they have a bad loss.
Yeah.
And
now, the one thing I would say is that Jim McQuaid's teams have sometimes had that loss, but they find a way to then beat a Mentor that you don't expect it, or beat a Euclid when you don't expect it.
Well, but that's the thing, though.
When everybody thinks they're down and out.
Well, that's the thing, though. They'll beat a Mentor like they did last year, and that was a huge win, and everyone's saying, oh, my God, Solon's arrived.
And I'm sure for Coach McQuaid and his staff, it's maddening. It's like, wait a minute, why can't we play like this every week?
You beat Mentor, and then all of a sudden you play McKinley in the playoffs at home, and you lose by 2 touchdowns.
Right.
So, again, they've got time to right the ship, but that's
going to be something to watch.
That's a wake-up call for the Comets.
It was one thing to lose that game, but it was another thing to lose by, 31 points. So we'll watch that. That'll be among the games when we look at this weekend's games. We'll keep an eye on some of these rebirth teams, as I call them, and see how they're doing. But again, our game of the week, we're very excited. Undefeated Euclid Panthers. Undefeated Medina Bees.
The Medina Battling Bees.
Medina Battling Bees. Larry Laird will be mad. He'll be mad at me. But yeah, we're looking forward to this. It'll be fun. We'll be on the air at about 6:50, right after the national anthem down at the Beehive, and looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. TC throughout the night will be keeping us updated with scores from around the area. So this is a good week. A good week of top 5 and a great game for, I think, everybody to enjoy Friday night.
This is going to be fun.
This is going to be fun. I'll see everybody down in Medina. I'll see you also back here a little later on this evening for the Donovan Live post-game show with Jim Donovan, as we'll start looking ahead to the Browns and the Rams, their Sunday night clash. It's a big football weekend. High school Friday, college Saturday, Browns Sunday night.
We're all a little happier this week, as you can tell, after the Browns actually won a game.
Yes.
So...
keep tabs, as always, at WKYC.com, our full coverage of high school football throughout the week, and then certainly on Friday night. TC, my man, as always, thank you.
Always enjoy it.
All right, we thank you for watching our special high school game of the week announcement. It's going to be Euclid and Medina this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. For Tyler Carey, I'm Dave DiNatale here on WKYC's Facebook Live and on YouTube.